But One Drinks. Today we're going to try a sherry tasting. So if you have seen any of our other videos, you know that we like a fortified wine here at Last But One Drinks, and today we are going to try a very special one that has been released in the last month or two. So today we are going to try Tio Pepe Fino in Rama, the 2021 bottling. Now, first of all, let's just break that down. Tio Pepe is a very famous brand of sherry from Spain, specifically from Jerez de la Frontera, which is where we get the word sherry from, Jerez sherry. Now, you can find other videos that we've done which have included Tio Pepe, and we've also written a blog post called Uncle Joe and Palm Sunday if you want to know a little bit about the history behind that iconic brand. So that's the Tio Pepe bit. Fino was the next word. So Fino is a very dry type of sherry. Please look back at our mini-series that we did on sherries and click on the Fino video to learn more. Then En Rama. Now we talked about En Rama sherries in another video, and if you've watched that one, you will know that En Rama means literally on the branch or on the vine. Now that doesn't really tell us very much in terms of what this means for a sherry. So if we think that you've got a grape that's on the vine, well, nothing's happened to it yet, and that's the kind of meaning that we're getting here. So En Rama is often translated as raw, because when it goes through the production process and goes through from butt to butt in the Solera system, it then comes out at the other end without any fining or filtration, and that's the raw bit. So the thing that differentiates this kind of Fino, so En Rama, from a normal Fino is a normal Fino will be fined and filtered to within an inch of its life, so using typically 0.4 micron filters to get really crisp, clear, consistent dry sherry, whereas this one doesn't have any of that, and as a result there's a little bit of difference that we see between En Ramas and normal Finos. So let's have a little look at what that might be. So first of all, we're just going to have a quick look at that in the glass, so we can see that that is a pale gold colour. Well, that's kind of exactly what we'd expect to see. It is a little bit darker than we'd expect from a normal Tio Pepe Fino, and that's partly because of that lack of filtration. Now, if we had perhaps an entire bottle that we could look at in a vessel, we might see that there's a little bit of cloudiness in there. Now, again, that's because of the lack of filtration. So no problem there, but there might be a little bit of sediment deposits in there, and that's going to be the flor. So that kind of special thick layer of yeast that sits on the top of sherry in a sherry butt. Now, so probably time for us to give a little bit of a smell to this. So there's a kind of a moderately strong set of aromas coming out here, but immediately when I put my nose in there, you get this bready, kind of sweet pastry almost, brioche almost, set of aromas coming out there. Now that's very characteristic of the flor, and it's much stronger for me than it would be with a normal Fino, even though with a normal Fino you get exactly that too. And there's an explosion of chamomile in my nose. Now that might sound a little bit pretentious, but honestly, get yourself a chamomile tea bag, smell that, smell this, and I dare you not to smell the chamomile in it. There's also a little bit of something appley in there, and some, maybe a little bit of lemon behind it. Give it a bit of a swirl, see if we get some different, yeah, we do. So there I'm getting kind of a bit of an oily, olivey, briny kind of smell as well. So let's give it a taste and see what it's like. There is an awful lot in this. It's a really kind of pungent set of bready notes, but that olive is coming through quite strongly. So are some appley flavours. That chamomile is very strong. I'm getting less of the lemon, if I'm honest, and there's something nutty in there. I would probably go Marcona almonds, but I am wondering if there isn't a little bit of hazelnut at the back. Yeah, it's quite light, but I think there might be a little bit of that in there. Now, it's highly acidic, so I am salivating an awful lot right now. But that's kind of what you might want from a sherry, especially if you're going to have it as an aperitif. It's got a long finish. I mean, I'm still getting little sparks of something, whatever, 20 plus seconds on from swallowing. Now, as it calms down, I'm actually getting more of the apple actually at the back of my throat. Interestingly, I would have thought it would have been a bit of a crisp green apple, but it's getting kind of towards that sweet red apple in the finish. I have to say, I'm very much enjoying this. But what might you enjoy it with is what we often get asked at Last But One Drinks. So, I mean, this is classic tapas area. So, I mentioned Marcona almonds earlier. You might want a salted almond or two. If, like me, you can't eat nuts, then you might want to go for something else salty, like a ready salted crisp, as we call them here in the UK, or potato chip. Or you might want to go for a little bit of Spanish jamon. Otherwise, olives. I would love a Manzanilla olive with this. Right, just come back to this very quickly. So this is Tio Pepe Fino in Rama, the 2021 bottling, with, I have to say, an absolutely gorgeous label on it. We got this from the Wine Society in the UK, but you can get it from a lot of different distributors. They only do a very limited number of bottlings though. It's from 82 butts in the gigantic Tio Pepe Bodega, but 82 does mean that there's quite a limited number on the run. This is a half bottle. We like buying our sherries in half bottles if we can, because that means that you get through it quite quickly, and that's quite important for an Rama. Because there's no filtration in there and there's a lot of flor that has made it into the final wine itself, it does mean that it can be a little bit volatile. So it is best drunk kind of ideally in one sitting. I might see if I can't tempt others in the Last But One Drinks fraternity to join me this afternoon, but otherwise drink it, I would say, pretty rapidly, hence why you might want to go this time for a smaller bottle than a larger one, but that's entirely up to you and the way that you enjoy your sherry. That is kind of medium price range in the UK right now. that's about £8.95, £9, something like that. Otherwise, if you'd like to know more about sherry, if you'd like to know more about Tio Pepe, or you'd like to know more about wonderful drinks, check us out at lastbutonedrinks.co.